Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on episode 17 of JuJutsu Kaisen. We're still in the Kyoto Sister Exchange event, but oh my gosh. So far, it's been really cool to see how these characters all interact and see their abilities come out. Last episode, I did not think I would get so attached to a cursed panda not panda and to Mechamaru of all characters. Like, I found myself really on board with Mechamaru's character, and he was going into this the last character that I thought I would connect with. So I was like, awesome, cool. So I honestly have no clue where we're going with this from here. The preview showed Maki and Mai, perhaps, and Miwa. So I'm all on board a girls battle episode. I'm all for it because one of the things I've really liked about this series is how they've handled female characters, especially for it being a shonen, because usually in shonen, and I'm just going off of experience with shows like Bleach, with One Piece, with Naruto, I mean, there are strong female characters in those series, but they usually don't do much. Now, to be fair, Rukia in Bleach, she does things. She gets kidnapped for the whole first arc, but she does things. And characters in series like One Piece, like Robin and Nami, they do things. I will give you that. And there are stronger female characters in One Piece as well. I will give you that. But in a lot of shonen, especially since it's targeted towards a young male audience, usually some of the female characters are regulated to like damsel in distress roles, or they're just side characters that don't really do anything, you know? So one thing I've really liked about JuJutsu Kaisen is that these characters are not love interests. The girl characters are not love interests for our protagonist. Like Nobara, I couldn't see Nobara with either Fushiguro or Yuji. No way. No. If I see her with anybody, it's probably Maki. So, and I'm all on board that train. But yeah, like none of these characters are shippable with our main protagonist, and that's fine. And the point is, it's fine. But I'm all aboard an episode where they actually get to do things, and it's centered around them. So that's my little rant. We'll talk about Bleach in another episode one day, and I love One Piece. But yeah, so I mean, I like that these characters are not just love interests. They're not played up to stereotypical shonen tropes. They're not just traipsing around and revealing outfits and just showing off their sexuality, and that's all that they're good for. They are actually strong characters that have a role in this story. All about it. So I'm excited to see what they do with that, if that's the case this episode, and I could be wrong. They could veer back to Yuji and go with him and Fushiguro and see what they're doing. But from the preview, it seemed like it was going to be more centered around them, which I'm all about. Probably my favorite female character in this series so far is just Miwa. I love her design. I love her wearing the suit and the samurai sword. I am all about it, and her move seems kind of Rukia-ish with the ring around it. Like if you're in the ring, then you're in her in the splash zone, so to speak. So I'm curious to know what all her character does. Mai and Maki, they use weapons, cursed weapons and tools. They're also related to Fushiguro, which is interesting because they've established that Fushiguro is part of the Zenin clan. So I find that interesting indeed. And then Nobara, of course, I love her. She's just such a diva, but like the best kind. So with that being said, I've rambled enough. We are going to start episode 17 of JuJutsu Kaisen here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Holy cow. I loved this episode. Next episode is going to have Fushiguro as a focus, so I have a feeling I'm going to love it too because I love his character as well. Which back-to-back Zenin clan, so cool. So this episode was everything I wanted out of an entirely female-centered battle episode. All about it. And I love that we're talking about a bunch of different topics that are getting brought up in this shonen that normally are not discussed in the way that they are here in most other shonen genres. Because usually it's a girl talking to a guy character or a guy, mansplaining in the shonen. It's like, no. These ladies have issues. Let me say, first of all, Miwa may be my favorite character in the female realm, but for right now. But Nobara's pretty close up there because Nobara this episode, girl, just being best girl. Nishimiya was like trying to go on this tangent about this about the sexism in jujutsu sorcery and how women female jujutsu sorcerers have to not only be strong but they have to be basically perfection. They have to do everything. They can't just be strong characters. They also have to have an aesthetic appeal to them to get up in the ranks. They have to basically be perfect. And so that's kind of her whole aesthetic of being cute, is to try to be strong and go up in the ranks that way. And Nobara's like, whatever, don't care. I love Nobara being like, I want to dress up and be pretty, but I also want to be strong. And I'm like, that's my girl. That is exactly the mentality. Like, you can look nice, but you can also be a strong character. And Nobara's like, not having any of that. But it's kind of weird that Nishimiya says that because Urahime is one of their senpai, and Urahime has a big old giant scar across her face. So she's clearly not perfect. Now, this Mei woman, we got Maki and Mai, but this Mei woman that has like the witchy garment and looks like Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle with her crows and her long braid, she looks interesting. And she seems to go along with Gojo's trolling. Urahime can't stand it. Urahime is like, I don't like you, Gojo. I think you're a troll. I think you're disgusting, gross. And this Mei woman kind of seems like she goes along with it. She's like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm just here for the money. She very much seems like the Kinto equivalent for Kyoto. Like, Tokyo Jujutsu has Kinto, who was in it for the money, and then realized that was a terrible thing to be in it for, and so that's why he got back into Jujutsu sorcery. But then this woman, Mei, seems like Kyoto's version of Kinto, where she is in it for the money, and she'll do whatever she can to get the most money. So I'm like, what a cool parallel that we have these two characters kind of as the little side senpai back there. So I'm hoping we see more with her. In the OP, she's there, and she can control animals and look through them kind of like a surveillance thing. So I'm curious to see if we see more of her. But Nobara this episode, man, Nobara's just like, I love Maki. I'm on the simp train for Maki, which how could you not be after this episode? And Nobara's like, she's strong and I don't care about Mai. And Nobara's like, I don't care about being pretty or cute. Like, I'm just here to kick ass and take names. And I'm like, Nobara, yes. I also love Nobara's dynamic with Yuji, because in any other shonen, she would be the love interest for Yuji, and she'd be like, oh, save me, Yuji. Hell no, Nobara don't need you to save her. She's like, I can do this on my own. And I love that her and Yuji have such similar personalities. It's like they share a brain cell. She's just like, baka, and he's like, and I love that he's like kind of scared of Nobara. He's like, you're weird and scary, and okay. He's like, either way I answer, it's gonna be bad. So I love it. And I can't believe she got taken out by that bullet by Mai. The whole thing with the Zenin clan is interesting. The idea behind this clan, and the idea that they considered the twins to be ill fortune, and the idea that they're not very strong curse users. And so they've established that there's 3 major clans of strong jujutsu sorcerers, and Zenin is one of them. I'm wondering if the Kodo or the Komo, whatever his name is, the one that's fighting Fushiguro, I'm wondering if he's from one of the other strong clans, and next episode that's going to be an issue, because Fushiguro does not have the Zenin name. His name is Fushiguro. It's Megumi. So clearly, I'm guessing it was the mom was a Zenin, was the mom of the Zenin clan, or is the dad from the Zenin clan and he just took the mom's name? I don't know. We've only had mention of the dad, kind of, and Megumi clearly does not like the dad. So I'm wondering if maybe that's the case, that Fushiguro took the mom's name and the dad is a Zenin, which would be interesting. I don't know. But I can see with the clan leader, that old man, I can see a family resemblance looking at that. Like, he kind of had Fushiguro's eyes in a certain way. And in the ED, I was looking at Fushiguro. I'm like, yeah, he kind of looks similar to Maki and Mai. I get it. But I did not expect Mai to be the one to be the tsundere, like the one that was all jealous and up against Maki. Like I kind of got the jealousy factor, but I didn't realize to the extent that it was until this episode. And I love Maki's character that she's like, fine, I was born, I couldn't see curses. Whatever. I'm still going to become a jujutsu sorcerer. I'm still going to be clan leader of the Zenin clan when all this is said and done. And the clan leader's like, fine, then we're going to put you through hell and see if you can survive it. And that's just... And I love the idea that Mai was always scared of curses, which granted, freaky curses, but I'm glad that I find it interesting that she was always scared, but since Maki couldn't see them, she depended on Maki kind of for strength, because Maki would be like, well, just close your eyes and we'll get through it together. And I love when stories about twins make them different. Like there's some anime that I'm watching right now or have watched, like with Run with the Wind. I love Jota and Joji, the twins, but they are very, very similar. Very hard to tell apart. On the contrast, I like in Haikyuu, where you have like Atsumu Miya and Atsumu Osamu, who look nearly identical, but have different personalities. And with these two girls, Mai and Maki, it's kind of the same thing. They don't exactly look identical. They look similar, like you would believe they were sisters, maybe not twins. But even as twins, they have different personalities. And I love that it's established that they have different ambitions. That Mai did not want to become a jujutsu sorcerer, but because she's the twin to Maki, whatever happens to Maki happens to her. So when Maki quit the clan, Mai's almost like, you knew that you leaving was gonna involve me. So don't lie to me and tell me that you didn't want me involved because you knew it was gonna happen. And don't insult me or patronize me. And Mai's like, why couldn't you just stay at the bottom with me and we just live a normal life? Like she was just happy being subservient and living without ambition. And Maki's like, that's just not me. So I'm sorry I drug you along with me on this, but I'm not going to sit down and do nothing. And it's like, Nobara and Maki, I just love them so much. They're so good. I still like Miwa a lot, but after this episode, Nobara jumped up a lot for me this episode, and so did Maki. Like, I still really love Miwa, and her technique's really cool. And that fight between Maki and Miwa, oh my gosh, the animation. Top tier. And so, really curious. We get the clans maybe back again talking next episode with Fushiguro and the other guy. Meanwhile, Panda and Togi are trying to get the curses out of the way and win the tournament. But yeah, so many things set up this episode about new characters, character motivations, about the jiu-jitsu world, the idea of clans, how that's involved, all of that. So it's all kind of starting to come together. And next episode, all of these, the last 4 episodes have been all the Kyoto Sister Exchange events. And then this episode 18 is Sage, which next episode is the 3/4 mark. We'll be 3/4 of the way through the series. I'm feeling that, because right now Miwa's out, Miwa's done, Nobara's done, we're kind of, Mekamaru's out, so we're kind of like, taking people out on equal I don't know about Fushiguro. Fushiguro's been apparently practicing his techniques. I'm still curious why Sukuna is dead set on Fushiguro and what he wants to do with him. But y'all, I'm all about this series subverting shonen tropes, and it's done that a lot. Like what you thought with Junpei. I thought with Junpei that we were going to use talk no jutsu and the power of Nakama was going to come through and the day would be sunshine and rainbows. Nope. You think these girl characters are just going to be damsels in distresses the whole time and need the guys to save them? Nope. They're out there taking names and doing their thing. So I'm all about it. So yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. But I'm curious to see what happens next episode and going into the final part of the series. I don't know where this series how it's going to climax in this final season or in these final couple of episodes for the first season, because normally around episode 18, you're starting to build towards the climax. So I'm wondering if something's going to interrupt this event, if Mahito or Geto or someone is going to interrupt. They show us in the opening that curse that can make you not want to fight, they show him in the OP constantly. Like he's going to be something they have to defeat here at the end with Jogo, maybe. So I don't know. Because their goal was to imprison Gojo. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Don't spoil me, but I'm curious on your thoughts below. Please let me know what you thought about the episode, about our female jujutsu sorcerers in general. I love all of them. I'm on board. So far, so good. But let me know what you thought down below. Please, no spoilers. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. And yeah, next week, we're going to be back with episode 18 of JuJutsu Kaisen. Bye.